and 2/3 to 3/4 of iron nails, boat ropes, and beaver hats. The king's heart hardened. Rejecting petitions and appeals from those pleading for moderation, he vowed in March 1774 to stop the present disorders. To British lawmakers in Parliament, which included the House of Commons and the House of Lords, he denounced a dangerous spirit of resistance in America among my deluded subjects. The king and his advisers believed that British wealth and status derived from its colonies. The erosion of authority in America would encourage rebellions in the other colonies of Canada, Ireland, the Caribbean, and India. With the empire broken up, an impoverished Great Britain, no longer great, would invite the scorn of Europe and exploitation by enemies in France, Spain, and elsewhere. Those piles of wet tea leaves foretold political and economic ruin. From late March through June 1774, Parliament adopted laws known collectively in Britain as the Coercive Acts, and later in America as the Intolerable Acts. The first was punitive. Boston's port must close until the cost of the ruined tea was paid to the East India Company, which traded goods, including the destroyed tea, with the colonies. The other laws tightened British control over Massachusetts. British troops would occupy Boston under a commander-in-chief who would also serve as the royal governor. In a separate session, Parliament approved expanding the boundaries of its Canadian territory to the west and south to the rich territory between the Mississippi and Ohio rivers. Infuriated American colonists felt that they were being confined to the Atlantic coast. "The die is now cast," King George wrote. "The colonies must either submit or triumph. We must not retreat." 2. St. Stephen's Chapel, Palace of Westminster, London, January 1775. On January 19, 1775, the House of Commons reconvened in St. Stephen's Chapel after the Christmas holiday. With a thud, a clerk dropped 149 documents on a central table, announced that they were papers relating to the disturbances in North America, and in a somber tone began to read the titles of each. Royal Navy dispatches from American waters, seditious extracts from the Continental Congress, reports written by royal officials from New Hampshire to Georgia, official correspondence from London to colonial governors. Slouched on a bench was Lord Frederick North, a childhood friend of King George. He supervised the national finances as head of the Treasury Board. Steadfastly loyal to the king and skilled in debate, North was the principal defender of government policy in the Commons. In the past year, he had delivered more than 100 speeches relating to the American colony, most of them harsh. Now he was fated to be a war minister, with his king's empire in the balance. He could talk tough, as in his claim that America must fear you before they will love you, or his assurance to the Commons that 4 or 5 frigates could close Boston Harbor because the militia of Boston are no match for the force of this country. Both houses of Parliament, the House of Commons and the House of Lords, supported North's proposal to ask the king to declare Massachusetts in rebellion and to take all measures needed to bring the American rebels to heel. The next day, hundreds of members of both houses paraded to St. James's Palace for the king to hear their petition. "We find that a part of your Majesty's subjects in the province of